All right. Hopefully the mic is not too fucking chopped. Testing. Yeah, so this is gonna be a pretty raw video. Excuse the background. I'm in my shitty fucking room that I live in at, I guess, college per se. But I just wanted to come on and talk about, I guess, like why I started steroids at like a fairly young age, like not too young. I hope the camera's focusing on me. But yeah, like, so I started this year exactly on the 4th of February. So it's been close to about 7 weeks now that I've been on. And today is the start of my blast, and I'll be running, a lot higher androgens. So I just figured I'd just come talk about my raw experiences and what to expect. Potentially this could, give some insights for those that want to start taking steroids. But I guess I'll start with, like why I started. So pretty much, so I'm turning 23 this May. So technically I started at 22. I started at 22 years old, again in February. And the whole of January, I just fucking was in like the worst depression of my life. I did mushrooms in Bali, and I think it like drained my serotonin. So it's not really a viable reason to do steroids, but I was planning to go on at least within the next 2 to 3 years. And I figured because this year I'd have the most time to myself to just focus on gym, I was like, it's probably a good time. And also, yeah, like again, I just felt so shit about myself. And like, I've always kind of struggled with like self-esteem issues and like having low self-esteem. And to be frank, like I don't really like have that many friends or like a big social sort of like connection. Not to like sound like a fucking victim, but I feel like I don't really connect with that many people in terms of like the things that I want out of life. I'm kind of like an extreme person, and so that sort of intensity can kind of, I guess, scare off some people, or like there's a bit of energy mismatch, which is like fine. Like I feel all right. I still try to socialize and, get that foundational stuff sorted. But yeah, like to be honest, like it's the decision to do steroids was like a mix of like, okay, I can logically think through and like logically commit to something as such. But a lot of it is emotional based, and I think a lot of bodybuilding is emotional based. Like I don't think any bodybuilder is like normal mentally. Do you know what I mean? To push yourself and live in a box sort of lifestyle where this is all you do, eat, sleep, train, there is some sort of mental, I don't want to say deficit, but there is something driving that. And I think a lot of that comes from emotional trauma and stuff like that. And for me personally, it's like, I still have like residual fucking emotional shit that I'm dealing with from my ex-partner. Like I'm 22, like I'm a fucking grown ass adult now. So like, it's not like I give a fuck about it, but it's something that, you don't just like fucking make these emotional scars disappear, I guess. But then partner that with like my low self-esteem. So I find it hard to like really feel proud about myself, and essentially like I have very high standards of myself. I need to be, the best I can be, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So yeah, like I started then to do steroids, like fuck this natty shit. Like I was cutting at the time. I just finished my cut like I guess a week ago, and like I figured like, okay, if I'm gonna cut, I'll look at my blood work. My testosterone always like, it doesn't crash, but like my SHBG rises. I don't really get access to my total test. And like I had pretty high total tests, like probably like 27-ish, which is like high normal. And now I'm probably going to be dependent on TRT for the rest of my life. But if it's for the goal outcome of like getting as jacked as I can, then, maybe it's not such a bad thing, because I really do love bodybuilding, and I think I will probably be doing it for the rest of my life. I just don't see why I would take the lifestyle sacrifice to like, I don't know, date a specific chick for some particular reason or something like that. Because ultimately, like, if you commit to a girl and, she wants you to live the way she wants to live, then, you're kind of sacrificing yourself. And as we know, like, women are pretty hard to please in this modern day. Like, I remember with my ex-partner, you know, she's always saying shit like, oh, I want us to be intertwined and all this bullshit. And, you know, part of me was like, oh, like, was willing to sort of sacrifice what I wanted to do those things for her. But, you know, in the end, it's like, they're gonna probably leave anyways, you know, and if you don't just have your purpose in check, then what does it matter? And so I think it's important just to focus on what really matters to you and build your lifestyle around yourself first, and then introduce those other variables like having partners and relationships. But yeah, so I started steroids because of emotional deficit. I feel like I needed to sort of feel better about myself. And I know that's not the healthiest place to come from, but like, I just call a spade here. Like, I'm self-aware enough to know that like, this is the type of person I am. I'm very neurotic, and you know, I can kind of make myself suffer a lot mentally, internally. And I know a lot of that is just internal. Like, it's, you know, it's really just my own mind. But it is, you know, it's just kind of how I am. And, you know, it's just, yeah, it's just who I am as a person. And so instead of like fighting that, it's like, let's just dive into it. And maybe when I'm 30, I have like a spiritual awakening where it's like, oh, like none of it mattered and let's all be hippie woo-woo motherfuckers. But as of now, it's like, I'm in my 20s, I'm still figuring out like what I want to do with my life and how I can sort of construct the life that I want to live. And that's like a 10-year journey in itself, to be frank. So, yeah, so I started because of that. And, you know, my goal was just to be as jacked as possible. And I knew that, you know, given my genetics, I was not going to be able to look like the way I wanted if I stayed natural. Like, even if I spent 10 years natural, I really don't think I could achieve the same look just simply on 2 years on steroids. So we're on now. And, yeah, so as far as the experience goes, I'll give you a rundown of what it was like for the first 7 to 8 weeks. So the first 4 to 6 weeks is like what I would call the honeymoon phase. So this is the phase where your baseline is completely new. You're basically redlining in terms of, you know, your androgen exposure. Your brain's like redlining. It's like switched on completely. And you're basically going to feel like really confident and really high drive. There's going to be like a sympathetic state. And the best way I could describe it is, you know, it puts you in a more dopaminergic state where you just want to do things and you have like high motivation to sort of conquer. And so I really had felt that, and I kind of took advantage of that too, because, you know, that I really started pumping out content more aggressively. And I had a few like viral videos, like did over 1 million views in the last month. And so I kind of grew my following on Instagram to like 2,000 followers, which isn't much, but like for me, that's a huge jump, because for the longest time, I never thought I could even surpass 1,000. You know, 1,000 was such a long dream of mine when I was a kid, because I used to make parkour videos when I was a kid. And so now that we hit that, now it's just a matter of like sort of being consistent and posting consistently on YouTube and Instagram and sort of building my brand, because yeah, like I do enjoy making content. And I'm the type of person where, you know, I don't really have much of a social life. So this is something that I can really take advantage of and delve into sort of content and sort of have, I guess, parasocial relationships. And yeah, so you have this honeymoon phase for the first 4 to 6 weeks. And now I'm like in week 7, week 8, and I'm starting my blast phase, which I'm running about 350 test. And I'm going to throw in growth hormone 4 IUs a day at some point. I just need to stabilize. My sleep was probably the biggest issue. So in the first 4 to 6 weeks, I was probably averaging like 5 to 6 hours a night. And so I would basically sleep, and then I would find it hard to stay asleep for longer than 6 hours-ish, maybe even less. And so that was taking a toll on me. But apart from that, like everything else was great. I love the confidence. I love the feeling and the, you know, the muscle growth. But like, yeah, like that's it. So like it does end, your body does adjust. So if you think that taking tests is going to make you switched on forever, it's not. I honestly, I feel human now. And so I have kind of been peddling the fact that like, oh, test is so amazing. And like, but it's the honeymoon phase. It's like a relationship with a girl. The first 6 to 12 months is like this amazing, deep, romantic, sort of like high passion. But those things do fade, like with all things. So I'm kind of at the stage now where it's kind of faded for me. And I'm not mad about it, because I feel like just in the past few days, my sleep has actually kind of stabilized, where like I can actually sleep for more than 7 hours consistently. I am taking melatonin, and so that obviously helps me fall asleep. I don't know if that helps me stay asleep, but I'm also supplementing things like magnesium and stuff like that. So all of those probably take a role. Ashwagandha also. But yeah, so that's what to expect on test. And my plans for now are just to essentially take this next 24 weeks really seriously. Bodybuilding is something I take seriously, and I really need to sort of get the results that I'm hoping for on steroids, because if I don't, that's just a real fucking shame. So we're locking in for the next 24 weeks, and honestly for the next few years. I'm trying to get the coaching business sort of started, but obviously a lot of that's to do with credibility, and so I'm just taking on a few clients when I can. But my number one focus is sort of having a stable financial income to support this lifestyle, and just really committing to bodybuilding, because I just don't see what else I can do with my life, man. Like, this is the one thing that I've been consistent at for like the last 4 years of my life. And, I'm studying electrical engineering, and to be frank, I don't really like it that much. I'm just doing it because, it's like I was already this deep in, and I'm about to graduate this semester. And, it looks like I'm probably going to have to head into a 9-to-5 in some sort of engineering position, which, it's fine, it's good, because, you can't be picky. Like, not everyone can live like the influencer lifestyle. And, the other coaches that are making 10K a month, they're fucking 10, 15 years deep in the game, and I've only got like half a decade of experience. So it's like, I just have to work towards it. But the one thing I want to be consistent with, even if I can just help guide one person, like, I doubt this video will get any views. I'm kind of just yapping and, posting. But the number one thing I want to do is just to be as consistent as I can when it comes to posting content on IG and YouTube, even when I don't feel like it. Like, I think my estrogen is kind of high right now because of the blast. I've been checking my fucking nipples 12 times a day. And so, yeah, I don't know if the E2 is contributing to the lethargy I'm feeling. I feel it right now, actually, since starting this video. But yeah, so that's the plan. Hopefully I can grow. Social media is definitely something I'm going to commit to, regardless of if I, get like 1 follower or like no followers, to be frank, because I think social media is absolutely critical in terms of things I want in life, and that is to make content for a living, because I like making content, and to also bodybuild for a living. Those two things combined, I think, is a sort of monetizable pathway for me, where I can actually provide values to others and coach others and sort of getting their dream physiques as well. Alongside like pharmacology research, that's something I'm super interested in as well. And yeah, so it's just being consistent with the content, building the brand, building the business, and I guess working 9-to-5. Like, that's pretty much going to be a very boring lifestyle, but I'm happy with it, and this is what I want to do. And yeah, I'm not really kind of distracted with women now. Like, I'm sort of like forgot all the women, and I'm happy being like celibate and solo for the next however long it takes. And yeah, we'll just take it a day at a time. So yeah, but that's pretty much all I wanted to say for this video. Basically my experience with test and my future plans. So yeah, if you have any questions, just fucking shoot me a DM on Instagram. I pretty much answer all DMs. Yeah, so peace out.